Welcome to 21st Sports NFL 2015 schedule preview show. So we're going to be going over the schedule for the 2015 season. It's that time of year where the NFL has released the schedule. It's just a little bit before the NFL draft that's coming up next week, but the official schedule is out. And let's start by looking at the Thursday night football. So let's look at week one. And technically speaking, they're calling it a Sunday night football game, although it's on Thursday night. So we'll call it Thursday night football, although it's going to be aired on NBC. And that's the first game of the year. That's September 10th. And that's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New England Patriots. And this is the first time that these two teams have met up in the regular season since November 3rd, 2013, back in Week 9 of that season. And that game was won by the Patriots 55-31. So the Patriots, coming off the Super Bowl victory in Super Bowl 49, will be opening up the regular season with the first regular season game. And then in Week 2, the official Thursday night football starts on the NFL Network, and that's going to be September 17th, and it will be the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And last year, Denver swept the season series in Denver. They won 24-17, and in Kansas City, they won 29-16, and that game will be in Kansas City. So we'll see if the Kansas City Chiefs can get a win over the Broncos this year. Then in Week 3, September 24th, the Washington Redskins versus the New York Giants. And last year, the G-Men swept the series with the Washington team. In the first game, 45-14. That was in Washington. And then in New York, 24-13. So they actually won by more in Washington. Of course, that game will be in New York, Week 3, Thursday Night Football. Then in Week 4, October 1st, the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is a rematch from last year's wild card. Of course, they're in the same division. And they split the games last year in the regular season. And the first in Baltimore, the Ravens won 26-6. And then in Pittsburgh, the Steelers won 43-23. And of course, the rubber match was in the postseason, the wild card game, which Baltimore won 30-17 in Baltimore. Then in Week 5, we have, that's October 8th, the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. And last year, the Colts swept the season series with their division rivals. First in Houston, winning 33-28. And then in Indianapolis, the Colts beat the Texans 17-10. It's now Week 6, Thursday Night Football, October 15th, another division rivalry matchup. The Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints. And this game is played between, again, two division rivals. Last year, Atlanta swept Atlanta. They beat them in Week 1 in overtime, 37-34. And then they beat them in New Orleans 30-14, and that was in Week 16. Then Week 7, October 22nd, we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. So now the defending NFC champs make an appearance, and this is actually a rematch from the 2013 NFC Championship game. Of course, they're division rivals, and last year Seattle swept the series. First, they beat the Niners in San Fran 19-3, and then they beat them in Seattle 17-7. Week 3, Thursday Night Football, October 29th, the Miami Dolphins versus the New England Patriots. And last year, it was a split between these two teams, these division rivals in the AFC East. The Miami Dolphins won in Miami in Week 1, 33-20. And then the New England Patriots won in Week 15, 41-13. Week 9, that's November 5th, so into the month of November now. The Cleveland Browns versus the Cincinnati Bengals in the Battle of Ohio. Last year they split, winning in each other's homes, so they both won on the road against each other. In the first game, the Browns won in Cincinnati 24-3 in Week 10, and then Cincinnati ended up beating Cleveland in Week 15. I have it here. It says 3-0, but that can't be right. My notes somehow must have fudged that. But if you know the score of that game, you can go ahead and leave that in the comment section. So then in Week 10, November 12th, the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets, and yet again, another division rivalry game. Last year, Buffalo swept the Jets in the season series, first winning 43-23, and that was at home. Actually, I think that might have been in the Jets, but then in the second game, they got snowed out, so I think that was the one in Buffalo. They got snowed out. They had to play it on Monday night, and that was played in Ford Field in Detroit, and that was 38-3. Buffalo won that one. So then Week 11, November 19th, we have the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last year, Tennessee and Jacksonville split the season series. Tennessee won 16-14 in Week 6 at home, and then Jacksonville won 21-13 in Week 16. Then Week 13, we have the December 3rd now, in the month of December, the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. And they split the season series last year. The Detroit Lions won at home in Week 3, 19-7, and then the Packers in Week 17 beat the Lions 30-20 in Green Bay. Week 14, December 10th, the Minnesota Vikings are taking on the Arizona Cardinals, so this is finally a game that's not a division rivalry game. And last year, these two teams did face in the preseason. Minnesota won that game 30-28. The last time they faced in the regular season was Week 7 of the 2012 season, and Minnesota won that one 21-14. So I don't know how much of a bearing that's going to necessarily have on that game, though. Then not much, but then Week 15, December 17th, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the St. Louis Rams. And last year they faced in Week 2. Kind of rare that they would face again, but they both came in last place in their division, and that's why they're facing off again this year. But last year, Week 2 in Tampa, the Rams won that one 19-17. It was a close game. Then Week 15, Thursday Night Football, December 19th. It's actually going to be on a Saturday, so it's Saturday night, Thursday night football. So they got a couple Saturday games they threw in there, which if you notice, they're not doing the Thanksgiving. But anyway, Saturday, December 19th, Thursday night football on a Saturday is the New York Jets versus the Dallas Cowboys. So again, that's not a division rivalry matchup. But the last time those two teams faced was 2011, Week 1, all the way back in 2011. And the Jets actually won that game 27-24. Revis intercepted Romo. Romo threw for 342 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Mark Sanchez was the quarterback for the Jets back then, and Rex Ryan was their coach. So it was a whole new look in New York, although in Dallas, Romo's still under center. Week 16, Christmas Eve, December 24th, we got another division rivalry matchup, the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders. Last year, the Chargers swept the series as they won 31-28 in Oakland and then 13-6 in San Diego. So now Week 17, I think I might have screwed that. But it's actually Week 17. No, is that right? No, I think that'll be Week 16 still. Yeah, still Week 16 actually, because there's no Week 17 Thursday night. So Week 16 on Saturday now. They throw a Saturday game in again the day after Christmas, December 26th. And that's the Washington Redskins versus the Philadelphia Eagles, ending on a division rivalry. And they split last year. The Eagles won 37-34 in Week 3 in Philadelphia, and then the Redskins won 27-24 in Washington in Week 16. Kind of knocked them out the playoffs. So now they're going to be facing again late in the year, Week 16, in Potentially playoffs could be on the line in that one for one or maybe both teams. We'll see. So that's your Thursday night games. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what game you're looking forward to out of this lineup for Thursday night. I know I'll be watching all of them and covering all of these games. Can't wait for football to start. It can't start soon enough. Of course, we have the draft coming up. We'll also be going over the Monday Night Football and the Sunday Night Football schedule, as well as the schedules for all 32 teams. So keep a lookout for that. But definitely, we got some highlights. All these division games definitely are important games. Denver, KC should be a really good one. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, it's always a really good game. Indianapolis, Houston, see if Houston can finally get over the hump. I mean, they're definitely loading up, getting some weapons there. Of course, we'll be going over that more as the season approaches. Seattle, San Fran is always good. Miami, New England. Of course, get the Battle of Ohio, the Battle of New York, and the Battle of the Great Lakes, Green Bay versus Detroit. So we got some really good games on Thursday night, and then even, those Saturday games. Jets, Dallas, late in the season, could have some playoff implications. Even we got the final one there with Washington, Philly. As I said, that could have playoff implications as well. And, of course, Christmas Eve, San Diego, Oakland. Expect Oakland to be better this year, but will they be in contention in a tough AFC West? That remains to be seen. But all in all, overall, the whole schedule really should be fun to watch. Of course, the first game, although they don't count it as a Thursday Night Football, that Pittsburgh-New England game, because it's going to be on NBC. But let me know in the comments section below which one of those games is the one that you're looking forward to the most. And if you want, leave me some predictions. Of course, we'll be going over that as the season approaches. Still a long ways away. But thank you very much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and have a good weekend. And enjoy all the sports.